Today we're going to find out a little bit about Devon Air Ambulance. Devon is a beautiful county to live in, with 2 coastlines and lots of countryside. It's also very large. If a person is poorly or has an accident, it can sometimes be difficult to get to them quickly enough by a land ambulance. But our 2 aircraft are like flying emergency rooms, and they can get to anywhere in Devon in just 15 minutes. We don't have to get stuck in traffic jams or travel down long winding roads, and we can fly in most weathers too. How many helicopters we have? That's right, we have 2. We have 1 helicopter based in Exeter and 1 based in North Devon. Our crew's ready to go from our 2 air bases when they are needed. From the moment the red phone rings. Which number should you phone if someone close to you has an accident or needs emergency care? That's right, it's 999. Phone 999 if you need a police, ambulance, fire or Coast Guard service. Sometimes the person you speak to will decide an air ambulance is needed. Here are some questions young people asked of our crew.
Most professional pilots have taken one of 2 routes into their role. The first route is to train to get a commercial pilot's licence, which is normally the minimum qualification needed to work as a pilot. The second route is to join one of the armed forces, who will train you to fly military helicopters.
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm one of the critical care paramedics with Devon Air Ambulance. We carry exactly the same equipment on our helicopters as we do on our cars, which is filled with things to help us provide care to the critically unwell and injured people of Devon. This is our primary response bag, so it's one of the 2 bags that we take to scene every time. They're about 19 kilograms each, and they're filled with modules like this one. So this is our airway module. It's filled with equipment to help us open and protect somebody's airway, ventilate them and oxygenate them while we take them to hospital.
On a typical job, we'll fly at around 3,000 feet, which is about 1 kilometre high. Our airspeed can vary with our weight and our atmospheric conditions, but typically we fly around about 125 knots, which is about 230 kilometres an hour.
Yes, actually we land on the top of the buildings. Some of the hospital landing sites in the cities are on top of the buildings, so we land on top of them for them landings. We regularly use Bristol for the children, to transfer the children to hospital, and that's right on top of Bristol Royal Infirmary Hospital.
Well, it depends on the helicopter. In this particular helicopter, we load the patient from the rear of the aircraft, as I'll show you. And on our other aircraft, we can do the same, load into the rear, or we can load the patient into the side of the aircraft. So with this particular aircraft, we'll have the patient on the stretcher. And then, as you can see, half of the stretcher is in at the moment. And then what we need to do is we need to raise the stretcher up to a level, and then make sure that one of my colleagues is inside to receive the patient on the stretcher as we feed in. And it's all about good communication between me and my colleague. And then when they're ready, I just slide the patient in on the stretcher until we have a click. And that's it. That's the patient loaded into the aircraft.
The two modern helicopters operated by Devon Air Ambulance are extremely well maintained and very reliable. Sometimes they do develop technical faults and can break down. If this happened, the first thing I would do would be to speak to the pilot and find out as much information as I possibly could about the problem. I would then use this information to consult the aircraft manufacturer's troubleshooting guide and find the best way and what parts we need to fix the aircraft and return it back to service as quickly as possible.
We have the critical care cars for three reasons really. The first reason is if the weather is not within the limits for the helicopter to fly, because we can only fly within certain limits for the helicopter. The second reason is if the job is quite close into the city of Exeter, for instance, then the guys, it's much quicker for them to get there and easier for them to get to the point of the incident. And the third reason is effectively if the aircraft is broken, sometimes it's technical faults with the aircraft, the engineers have to fix it, and then they'll take the car instead of the heli until the helicopter's fixed.
So, well, what is the difference between a doctor and a paramedic on the air ambulance? Well, firstly, I studied to be a doctor at university, and after I'd gained more experience as a doctor, I then specialised in working on the air ambulance and working outside of a hospital. The difference between me and a paramedic is that I can do the things for really sick patients that I would normally do in a hospital, such as give you an anaesthetic like you would do when you go to have an operation, or give you stronger medications that will generally make you feel better.